One of the first lessons I learned as a business owner is that a confused mind says no. And what I mean by that is if we have too many options, we tend to just shut down and not buy any of it, right? Do any of it. And I want to talk to you about how that applies to self care. So, a lot of us get super overwhelmed and we think, oh my God, there's so many options out there, right? And like you have to spend money and you have to have time and et cetera, especially as a mom, right? So, I'm not going to do any of the self care stuff. Unfortunately, that gets stuck in our heads and it holds us back. But the reality is there is so many ways to take care of yourself and show up for yourself every day that is going to be affordable or something you're already spending money on, and it's going to help you to be the best version you can of yourself. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk through a bunch of different ways to practice self-care. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk to you about is skincare. Now, as I've gotten older, my skin gets drier and drier and flakier and flakier. And the problem for me with this is I have a tendency to just like splash water on my face and then some lotion and call it a day, and it's no longer cutting it. So I've been trying to educate myself and learn a lot more about skincare. And in the process of doing so, Dime Beauty reached out to me and asked me to do a collaboration. So during this part of the video, I will be sponsored by them, and I want to share with you some of my favorites. I will link them all in the description below, so if you see something you want to try, go down there to get it. But let me tell you, I'm very picky about who I partner with. And this company is one that I'm absolutely confident to get behind because they meet what I need for both my skincare needs as well as my moral compass. So it is a vegan company. They are chemical free. They are eco-friendly, and their ingredient list is very clear, so I know exactly what I'm putting on my skin. To top it all off, my favorite part is that it's pretty budget friendly as far as skincare goes. I currently am using a variety of products, but the lotion I've been using is more expensive than their bundle of their night cream and day cream. So I'm actually saving money, and these bottles are pretty hefty, and it takes such a small amount that I'm pretty confident that I'm going to save not only money on the product itself, but how often I have to repurchase the product. Another cool thing that this company does is they have their own YouTube channel that's how-to videos. So when you order the products, or even before you order the products, you can check out their YouTube channel and you can decide like how the product works, what order to use stuff in, and it makes things so less complicated, which we already talked about. Complication makes me just not want to do it at all. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is show you the products that they sent me, and then I'm going to show some of them on me for you. So the first one is a whipped exfoliated mask. This product here is pretty freaking amazing. I've been using it in the evening, so it's going to exfoliate your skin, but it also doubles as a moisturizing mask, in which I already told you I tend to have very dry skin, and I'm freaking loving this. Okay, so we're going to use the Gentle Jelly Cleanser together. The best part about this cleanser is that it does not dry out or damage your skin at all, which is actually a really big problem. Look how much that is, right? Isn't that crazy? That bottle's going to last me forever. So usually when I wash my face, when I'm done, I will have like this feeling of like, right? Because my skin is so dry, and I don't get that sensation with this. So I know it really is doing what it says it does, and it does not dry out my skin. So I'm going to wash this off, and I will be right back. So the next product I want to show you is their Super Skin Toner. I'm really excited to start actually adding toner in. I did it once before, but I swore to you, it dried my skin out so much. I don't think it's supposed to do that, but obviously I was not using good products. So I'm just going to dab a little bit of it on a cloth, and I'm going to go ahead and just wipe that onto my skin. Now, what's cool about this is it's supposed to help too with fine lines and wrinkles, and you know, I am starting to get older, and I am actually a grandma, so that's a little important to me at the moment, to age as gracefully as possible. So next up is the hyaluronic acid serum, and this is going to really lock in the moisture. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Just going to put a couple droppy drops on my face, and then we're going to massage that in. So this one is good for all skin types too. So if you have oily skin versus dry skin, it's still going to be great to utilize. Next up, I want to show you Hyperglow. So this one is going to brighten your skin, but also it provides antioxidants that are going to protect your skin from all that radical damage. So things like pollution, blue light, etc. So we're going to just go ahead and massage this into our skin as well and give ourselves a little bit of a shine. Next up is the Luminosity Eye Serum. Now, I'm excited for this more than anything because bags under my eyes are seriously an issue for me. So this is going to increase blood flow, and it's going to make it so I am decreasing the amount of wrinkles and fine lines, and it's going to reduce redness and puffiness, and I am just super excited for all those things. So this one you can use morning, night, or both. I'm going with both because it is a problem area for me. So I'm going to put on the Dewy Day Cream. They also have the Restoration Night Cream, but it's morning, so clearly that's not what we're doing here. Now I'm just going to use, I already squeezed it on my finger. I'm just going to use like one droplet of it. Okay, so let me just show you how far this goes, and you can see that that bottle is going to last me forever. Like my whole face is being covered. Okay, so one of the cool things about this one is it's super lightweight, and what I'm typically using is like a really thick cream, and so that makes me really excited. It also goes really well underneath my foundation, so I'm not having any problems there. So the last thing we're gonna put on is Wonder Screen. So this is gonna be their SPF, and I'm trying to be better about wearing SPF. This is one little pump, you guys. It's again it's gonna last me forever. So I'm putting this over my moisturizer. I did watch their how-to video on this one because I wasn't sure if it should go first or last, and it recommends if you have dry skin to do it on top. So that is what we are gonna go with here. So as you can see, morning routine is done. Now I can put on makeup if I feel like it, but you know what, this girl does not every day. So this is what we're doing. You can see how shiny and awesome my skin looks. Super excited. Again, I'm going to link all of these products in the description for you so you can get your hands on them as well. Very happy to share this product with you. Dime Beauty, thank you so much for reaching out to me. I am very excited. Let's move on to the next part of self-care. So funny story. When you're a content creator and you're in the middle of making a video and you take a break to have lunch and then inspiration hits you because it's your birthday and you're like, I feel older and I want to do something fun, so screw it, I'm going to dye my hair pink. You then have to finish your video with pink hair, and that's quite the transition. So that explains this. And now we're gonna move along and keep talking about self-care. So we've talked about skincare. Another thing that also is incorporated with skincare is our water intake. It's not like, hey, I'm gonna filter water through tea bags and coffee beans, because trust me, I get you. I live for my coffee. And I want you to have attainable goals. So let's not go crazy and be like, I'm going to start drinking those 10 glasses a day, even though I right now drink one. I'm just saying, let's slowly increase it. Let's start our day with like chugging a cup of coffee. A cup of water before we drink our coffee. And that way we're just starting our day off right, and then you can continue to like add a little more water in here and there and get yourself on habit with that. The next up on our list is going to be exercise, and this is going to be a big one. It's really important, not just for our physical health, but also for our mental health. There's a lot of science behind that. I am not here to teach you about the science. I am here to talk to you about what helps. So I want you to know that you need to do what works for you. So maybe you like to go for a run. Me, that sounds like torture. So I'm not doing that. I'm an at-home workout kind of person, especially with a family of 6 of us. There's not a lot of time for me to like get out of the house for like a solid hour or two to go to a gym. So I have a bike at home, so I cycle, and then I do a little bit of yoga and like YouTube videos for quick like 5 to 15 minute workout routines are my go-tos. So there is a lot of awesome ones out there. You just have to find what works for you. I will say that the hardest part is getting going with it. And I will be the first to admit that like I used to work out every single morning, and I haven't worked out until recently. I skipped like a month or two. And sometimes like, you know, we get sick or the weather sucks or whatever's going on in life, it kind of puts a little debacle in it and we fall off the wagon. You just got to get up, Try again, keep going, don't beat yourself up. Do what works for you. The other thing I'll say is I mentally tell myself, like, okay, I'm going to cycle for 5 minutes. Like, that's all I'm going to do today. I don't feel like working out, but I'm going to make myself get on the bike for 5 minutes. I put on my playlist. And I start listening to music and I set a timer for 5 minutes. When that timer goes off, typically at this point, I'm into it enough that I'm like, okay, you know what? I can do 5 more minutes. And maybe I could do 10 more minutes, whatever. And usually I end up working out for at least 30 minutes to 60 minutes because I just keep up that momentum, right? Everything sounds like easy when it's like, I can do this for 5 minutes. So that's my big tip for you on adding more exercise into your self-care routine. My last big thing about exercise, and you're going to hear me repeat this over and over again, is attainable goals. What is actually going to work for you? And maybe working out isn't going to work for you. So could you just incorporate playing some music while you're cooking dinner for your family and dancing while you cook? Or a little impromptu dance party with children, or whatever it is. Or maybe it's playing a Just Dance game or jumping on the trampoline in the backyard. Whatever it is, just find a way to add some physical activity into your day. This is going to benefit you both mentally and physically. I briefly want to talk about food. And the reason I say briefly is because I'd be the first person in the world to tell you, go eat that cake. So I'm not going to be here judging and telling you you have to eat all these healthy, clean things. What I do want to say is that there is, again, a lot of science around the bacteria in our gut and how it connects to our mental health. So I'm explaining that to you just very briefly. You can research it on your own. There's a lot of good information out there. But what I want to say to you is find balance. Eat a pizza every once in a while. Go out to dinner and splurge. Eat a piece of cake. I don't care. But make sure you're also finding the balance and adding food into your diet that's really good at feeding your gut. Now let's talk about sleep for a brief moment. The big thing about sleep is sometimes it's just not in the cards, right? So again, what can we actually do? And how can we make the best of our current circumstances because it's ever evolving? Like, for example, if you're a new mom and you have a baby waking up every 2 hours to eat, you're not going to sleep 8 hours through the night. It's not realistic. But what can you do? What is within your control? Do you have a family member or a partner that maybe could take a shift for you for like 2 hours in the afternoon to get a nap in? Is that something that's possible for you? Or do you have the habit of after the baby goes to sleep for the night or after you get home from work, you watch a couple hours of TV and chat on the phone with a friend before going to bed? Let's cut it in half. Don't get rid of the things that feel good to you because that's what self-care is all about. But let's take part of that time away and get into bed earlier or let yourself sleep a little longer wherever you can find it. Get a nap in at 2 o'clock. I don't know. Whatever works for you. Find the time to get a little bit more rest because, again, this is going to help you mentally and physically. The last little piece I want to talk about when it comes to physical self-care is touch. And I'm not talking the kind of touch where your kids are jumping on you and like demanding your attention or the kind of touch where your partner's like, hey. I'm talking about the kind of touch, which, by the way, can definitely be self-care. Moving on. I'm talking about your own self-touch. So what I mean by that is things like taking your hands, crossing them over your cheeks, and slowly caressing your face. Or maybe it is gliding your hand, clenching down, holding your own hand. Or giving yourself a hug or rubbing. Even just giving yourself a little bit of a massage while you're putting your lotion on after a shower. These things are going to stimulate those feel-good feelings and they're going to help you out mentally. So make sure you're taking a little bit of time every day to just embrace yourself. Let's talk about the internal self-care things we can do a little bit, okay? So first off is meditation. We now know how amazing meditation can be, but a lot of us either say we don't have the time to do it, we can't get into it, or there's no way we can stay focused, right? More reason to do it. So what I'm going to tell you is 2 big tips. The first one is start small, attainable. Do a 2 to 3 minute guided meditation. If you go on to like Amazon Music or Spotify and you go into podcasts, you can just do a quick search. There is so many guided meditations out there. So find ones that resonate with you, whose voices sound calming to you, and take it from there. Definitely start out guided if you're new to it. 2 to 3 minutes, and then up it to 5, and then maybe 10, and like sometimes do a 20, but just start small. The reason behind this is because when we meditate and we focus our intention onto one thing, and our mind starts to drift away, and we can pull ourselves back in and go, whoop, wait, I'm supposed to be focusing on how my legs feel against the ground right now, right? So that's what I'm focusing back on, and you keep redirecting your focus. This is really, really helpful, trust me, as somebody who struggles with anxiety, for anxiety and also for depression, because a lot of times what happens is we start to be a fortune teller, and we're like, well, what if this happens? What if that happens, in worst case scenarios? And we can pull ourselves back into the moment, and it starts to become very natural once you've started practicing meditation on a regular basis. So awesome freaking tool. If meditation and sitting still does not sound like your thing, there is something called walking meditation, okay? Movement and meditation together. So a great way to practice this is with your senses. So what you're gonna do is go for a walk or sit and eat a meal. And while doing so, you're going to say to yourself, what do I feel? And you're going to talk about everything you feel with that sense. And then you're going to do that for 5 minutes. And then you're going to say, what do I see? And you're going to look around you, and you're going to start to just tell yourselves all the things that you see around you. Then taste, then smell, then hear, any order you want to do it in. I think you get the point. And touch. So, well, we said feel. I already said feel. Don't mind me. The pink hair, you can take the blonde out of the girl, but you can't take the girl out of the blonde, I guess. So anyway, what I'm going to tell you with that is just practice whatever works for you, movement meditation, or sitting down and doing a guided meditation. Find what works, make it attainable, and get to it, because it's going to help you out. Along with meditation, we're going to talk for a second about journaling. I'm a big fan of journaling. There's so many different ways you can do this. There's awesome guided journals all over the market. I actually have one for self-love and self-value. It's called I Can Love Me, but there's a billion out there. You can have a gratitude journal, you can do whatever. Or you grab a scrap piece of paper and you write away, okay? The big thing here is you can do this 2 ways. You can have intention with your writing, or you can just brain dump. So that means you get up in the morning and all those thoughts going through your head, you're just going to stop, pause, you're going to write it all down. You're not going to think about what you're writing. You're just going to get it all out of your head and on to paper. It's a major release all on its own to just do that. And then what you can do is rip it up and throw it away, or save it to look back at later. Whatever you want to do is up to you, but journaling is a great way to even pay attention to your cycle, your differences in your moods. If you're taking medications, it's really helpful for that. If you notice you feel differently when you eat certain foods, you can journal about that. So do what works for you, make it attainable. The final thoughts that I want to leave you with in this video is simple. Remember that if you're not in a place where you're having a ton of self-love, self-care is going to not come naturally to you, and that is okay. You're gonna get there. You have to start somewhere, and this is the one way I think fake it till you make it works. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna find one thing that you can start incorporating into your day to create that habit and start caring for yourself. The more you care for yourself, the more you're going to see that you deserve that love and care, and you're going to actually expect it from others around you, as far as setting boundaries and things like that, as well as showing up and making time for you, because you are doing an awesome job. You are great. You are wonderful at everything you do, at taking care of everybody else's needs in your life. But it is time to show up for yourself and give yourself that love that you truly deserve. I wish you all the best on this journey. Leave me a comment if you have questions. You can go ahead and research all you want on other ways to practice self-care. But the bottom line is self-care is about caring for yourself. Lots of love.